babies and young children are naturally early risers. Being up with the lark is a fact of life for most parents of little ones, and to some extent you just have to go along with it. Early waking problems can be very tricky to tackle because if your child has had a long block of sleep, even if it's not technically enough, she will find it really difficult to resettle. This is true for all young children, but especially so for 1 to 2-year-olds who are just too excited at the prospect of the coming day. Most children tend to sleep quite deeply for the first 2/3 of the night, but as dawn approaches, sleep overall becomes much lighter and more fragile. When a child stirs through the light phase of a sleep cycle, it's often much more difficult to settle at 4 a.m. than it is at midnight. Putting children to bed later in the evening rarely makes a difference to their getting up time in the morning, and it can lead to them becoming very overtired. It's best to stick to a normal bedtime. Parents vary in their opinion of what an acceptable getting up time is, but generally, if a child wakes up happy, any time between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. can be considered normal for a young child. So, when might early waking be considered a problem? If your baby wakes before 6 a.m. and is crying and still looking tired, if your baby has a ritual of a dawn waking and crying, followed by a milk feed or transfer to your bed and then back to sleep, or if your baby is tired and grumpy on waking and then takes an early, long daytime nap. So if any of these sound familiar to you, it might be worth considering doing some gentle sleep training to help to extend your baby's sleep. First of all, you need to take a long and honest look at your child's overall sleeping ability. If early waking is part of a picture of generally poor settling and night waking, you need to address what happens at the beginning of the night and during the night first of all. You'll get nowhere with morning sleep training if your baby doesn't have good, solid, self-settling skills. Your child needs to settle at the start of the night without having you in the room with them. That way, when they wake up later, they won't feel upset or anxious to find that you're gone. Your child needs to understand the significance of light and dark. It really helps if you're able to provide a very dark environment for sleep. Heavy curtains or blackout blinds are essential, and if you go away on holiday, it can be difficult to get the right level of darkness. You can create the right level by taking a portable blackout blind with you, like the Grow Anywhere blind. If your baby's waking is part of generally poor sleep and settling skills, you need to teach them how to fall asleep independently at the start of the night and to remove any incentives for night waking. These include giving an unnecessary night feed, moving your baby into bed with you during the night, you going and sleeping beside your child during the night, allowing her to play or watch a DVD during the night, and any form of nighttime contact with you that you suspect has become a ritual rather than a need. You should then treat the early waking just as if it was a night waking, offering the same minimal but consistent response. It's not a good idea to leave your child to cry for long periods in the morning, as she will learn that to start the day she has to cry for you. This isn't a good start to the day, either for her or for you. It's better to go in before they get really upset and gently let them know that it's still actually sleepy time. You should then either remain beside them or keep popping in and out of the room until you reach an acceptable getting up time. When you reach the acceptable getting up time, you need to go in and open the curtains before getting your child out of the cot, and this will give a visual clue that it is now daytime. They will soon come to realise that when the curtains are closed, it's still sleepy time. If at the beginning of the night you incorporate closing the curtains before they go into their cot, you give them a really clear daytime and nighttime signifier. These visual clues are very important for babies and young children who are not yet able to tell the time. For the over 2-year-olds, you can use a sleep training device such as the GroClock, which at a time preset by you will wake up and let your child know that it's getting up time now. When tackling early waking, the first thing that you want to achieve is that when your child wakes up, they stay in the cot or in the bed. That way, they have the opportunity to snuggle down and go back to sleep. If your child is really struggling with going back to sleep, it's best to gradually extend the period of time that you expect them to stay in their cot or their bed. If you are using a GroClock or just simply opening the curtains as a daytime signifier, you need to pay attention to timing. For the first morning, use the getting up prompt at the time that your child normally wakes up. This is so that she gets the hang of what is going on and has a pleasant experience of the daytime trigger. Setting it too late in the very early days will mean that your child may lose heart laying in her bed watching for the daytime signal. It is better to start at an achievable time and then move it forward by 5 minutes every morning until you reach an acceptable getting up time. If you follow these simple guidelines for a few consecutive nights, you will have a great chance of stopping your child's early waking.